Spring. Houstonic Greenway Complete Streets Subcommittee. Good day. This is Harold Watson, Committee Chairman of the Stratford Houstonic Greenway Complete Streets Subcommittee. We are conducting this special meeting, this regular meeting on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 from 12 to 1. The quorum for this meeting is 5. I will now call on the following elected members to speak up as present. Karen Burke.
Here.
Tom Dillon.
Here.
Jennifer Sheldon.
Here.
Harold Watson here. Sarah Graham.
Here.
And the other people on the committee are absent. Christopher Green, Nels Pearson, George Perham, and James Simon. Just so everybody knows, James Simon's mother-in-law passed away this week.
So sorry to hear.
Yeah, she was a real, well, actually, she used to have your job, correct?
She
Aileen?
was, yeah. She was my predecessor.
We also welcome Susmitha Atada, our town planner and our zoning administrator.
No, I'm just planning and zoning administrator right now. No town
Okay,
planner.
planning and zoning administrator.
Yes.
So we're going to help her in every way that we can.
And thank you all for your support, your words of encouragement and kind words. Nobody said it, not you again, which is very nice.
And also our recording secretary, Aileen Marsh. And I also saw John Casey's here today. Welcome. The agenda items that we're going to discuss today is our special July 10th meeting, our special November 21st meeting, our special January 6th meeting, and our regular February 5th meeting. We need to approve those minutes. Will someone please make a motion to approve those minutes?
I make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 I
Unanimous. I'm going to then go to Complete Streets Phase 1 and 2 and 3. It's not on the menu, but if you want to say anything, Smith, about those.
Sorry, I was muted. So regarding Complete Streets, I just received an email from MetroCog staff, Devin Clark, who's their project manager from the region. He's saying that the DOT is actually reviewing our 60% designs right now, and they can send us their comments anytime this week. So once we get those comments, we will be progressing towards the 90% draft designs. So I am hopeful, hopefully, if everything goes smooth, then maybe by fall this year or winter, we are done with the planning process, and then we can start lining up implementation strategy and bid documents and everything for next year.
Thank you.
Regarding Greenway, as I mentioned to you all, John and I were on the selection committee for the Greenway Phase 3 consultants. So this project was funded to us by DOT, and they had very strict guidelines for who the selection committee members should be. Harold, I really wanted to be on it, but they said only town staff, no volunteers on the selection committee. So, and they also wanted mayor or mayor's representative. So I had Molly sit in as mayor's representative, and we had 4 consultants who bid on this, and we selected WSP. Christy Fagel is our project manager. I really liked her, and I think you will like her too. She's very task-oriented, and she has good experience from not just Connecticut. She also worked in Virginia before. She worked with Virginia DOT. So I think I also was looking for an outside perspective on this, on how else we could have done things differently and what else can be done. The other consultants were also equally good and competitive, but there was very minor difference between the scores that were awarded for these consultants, and they came out at the top. And we are working with our contact with VHB, who will act as a facilitator between DOT and the town to get into a contract with WSP, and they will be guiding us through the process involved with the grant.
Good news, Mrs. Smith.
Mhm.
Do you want to comment on phase 3?
I just told you about phase 3 Greenway. Phase 1 and phase 2 are done. Phase 1 was the Housatonic River Greenway. Phase 2 is by the Elm Street side. So the phase 3 will be by Ferry Boulevard side, which is going to be starting soon for planning.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that?
Yeah, phase
Phase-
1 is our existing Housatonic River Greenway.
Right.
Phase 2 is by the Shakespeare property side, connecting to West Broad.
Okay,
Internally. Phase 3, our planning alignment is along Ferry Boulevard, but then the consultant we hired right now, or we are going to hire, she will assist us in conducting a feasibility analysis of the routes. And if the analysis indicates that you can't go on ferry, but you can choose an alternate route, then we have to go the alternate route. So whatever is the outcome of that process, that will be the phase 3 route.
thank you.
Mhm.
And now we're getting down to the Main Street bike parking. You must all know that I'm president this year of Rotary, and they're supporting us on having bike parking again this year. So we're moving forward with that. I am in contact with your bike company, Karen.
Trek.
Trek. I'm in Fairfield about them coming to that Main Street bike parking, our rodeo, they do like tune-ups. And so hopefully we'll have them there this year also, in addition to
When is that, Harold? Why don't I
It's-
have that in my calendar?
the bike,
The
it's
Main Street Festival.
June 7th.
June 7th. Oh, June 7th. Oh, I'm way off. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Harold,
yes, ma'am.
I have a lot of information for you all about the National Bike Month planning that is underway. And you can let me know when I can speak on that, and I can give you.
Well, that was the next thing that I was going to bring up is I have on the schedule. I really want to make sure, Michael, that we get you the information so that we can come up with a firmer schedule, because we really are going to need it shortly. And some of it is going to require a little more research. But we're trying to fold in. So Smitha has 3 dates for what
Can I talk about that? I
Sure.
have an
That's what
extensive
I'm
memo on that.
setting up. We're going to add that into our schedule.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I met with Sarah Matthews, our chief of staff, and Molly Ryan, our constituent services coordinator, yesterday. 3 of us were looking at National Bike Month, that is in May every year, and we were planning out a schedule of events to encourage bicyclists in the town to ride our new infrastructure and existing infrastructure that's been there since the 80s, which is our Housatonic River Greenway. So this is what we're thinking, and I need your help on this. We are very understaffed. As you are aware, right now, I don't even have a town planner, and I am just managing 2 jobs, and everybody is overworked. But we can make this successful if we can have volunteers from this group help us in rolling out these events. So the first thing we thought is that Sarah will prepare a flyer and a proclamation to be released on May 1st regarding the National Bike Month and how Stratford is committed to bicycling. That will be the start date of the National Bike Month. Then the second will be a news article will be released in the press on May 1st, advising people to bike and use our existing infrastructure in town, and possibly partnering with either Tiffany's or Frenchie's or somebody like along the route, so that we can have somebody from Greenway stand there between 8 a.m. and 10 a.m., hand out the reflective gear that we have received through the MetroCog grant that we had applied for. And maybe if we were going to ask them if if everybody buys a food item, if they could get a free coffee or something as a bonus, so that people can actually stop by, get a free coffee, get the reflective gear and any promotional materials on bicycling. And we need volunteers, but we can't physically stand there because we have to do the town jobs. But if there's a volunteer that's willing to stand, for 2 hours there, that'll be great.
How many days is this?
It's just for 2 hours on May 1st.
That's okay.
May what?
May 1st,
Thursday.
yes.
Mm.
And the third thing is, I will request our Greenway members to make themselves available to provide reflective gear. May 4th is a National Ride a Bike Day. We are going to start rolling out social media posts, not just on May 1st, but throughout the month. So I know, Karen, you and Mike Murphy offered to prepare a video of you riding the bike along Main Street and, us releasing it in the social media and maybe through Mayor's newsletter and other channels that we have. Maybe we can roll that out during that month. And I was also thinking about short clips. Like if, I know I don't want to put Mike in the spot, but if the Greenway members can get together and create some short clips on, what was your experience riding the new bike infrastructure? What is your favorite route in the town? Why do you like riding a bike? Or what other destinations would you like to, connect to? Something that we can feed the social media throughout the month as part of National Bicycling Month.
And I'm sorry, who's our audience for the short clips?
The residents of Stratford.
And where will it be shown?
Town of Stratford social media outlets. So we have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter account. We have Mayor's newsletter. So we will be releasing through that.
And so, Smitha, I'm going to introduce you to Barbara Heimlich, who runs the Stratford Crier, because she's been doing all of our rides for the last couple of years. So she would be very interested in this, and she can put up video clips on our local e-paper.
Yeah. But because we work for the town and, we are paid by the taxpayers and we are committed to public service, I think we would like to release it officially and she can borrow the clips from us and put it in the crier. So Sarah also said she will talk to Karen Doyle in economic development regarding a map that can be released on biking routes in the town and favorite destinations. And that can be rolled out through social media too. May 7th is National Bike to School Day. Molly is going to contact high school principals to see if they would release this info in their newsletter to parents. And we are trying to see if we can get an opportunity to stop by for the lunchtime and provide free reflective gear to just the seniors in the school. So they can use that when they want to ride a bike. May 12th to 18th is Bike to Work Week. And I have connected with Sarah Roy with CT Rides, and I'm trying to see if some points can be awarded for public transportation, just like how new rides give you train points that you can utilize. If anybody uses a bike to train to go to their place of work, if we can give them points or some sort of, some credit on their card that they use to travel for their work every day, a train pass or something. So I'm working with her on that. And then we will place flyers on the National Bike Month in many locations across the town, like many shopping places, retail, restaurants, and public places. So people are aware that there is a National Bike Month. Did you know we have a Greenways and Complete Streets member? This is their Facebook page. We have, these are our routes. This is our bike planning, Complete Streets planning is underway so that people are more educated and informed. So this is what we're thinking about the entire month of May. And as you know, this is a huge project and we need a couple of volunteers to create the video clips, somebody who can man the table on May 1st. And if we need any more help, I'll reach out to you in the future.
I have a question about the first video. Do you just want I know Mike nicely volunteered and I said I would help him. However, I'm not sure I can do it by May 1st. It depends what you want. Are you just looking for a video to just roll the entire bike path?
That's it. You just start at the Barnum Avenue, you ride, and each segment at every intersection, Mike can, video record how to safely travel. Because you are like an experienced bicyclist and you know what the green paint means. I can tell you so many people have called us in the beginning because they were not aware what the green paint means. And we had to roll out a PDF document that explains everything.
May I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Because if we're going to record the whole ride, like just say the original bike trail up towards Russian Beach, right?
No, we're not doing that. We're only doing the new one.
Okay,
So
Just
Paradise,
on Main Street.
Paradise Green to Barnum?
Yes, but no, Barnum to Harvey Place.
Barnum to where?
Harvey Place near
Harvey
Stratford
Place.
Avenue, where the Sharrows are, all the way till there.
Where the lines are
We're not doing Elm Street?
Not now. This is just to educate them how to use the new bicycle infrastructure on Main Street.
Okay, I'm sorry, back up again. It's Barnum to what?
To Stratford Avenue,
Okay. So what you're looking for is just, we ride and we say, okay, we're coming to this intersection. This is how it's proper etiquette to use your bike on this intersection.
especially when you see a bike box, you park here. When you see a dotted line, you pass here. And if it's a vehicle, where does the vehicle stop and where the bicyclist stops? So by you riding and demonstrating it, people will understand, this is where the bicyclist is supposed to go, and this is where the cars will go. You don't have to say anything.
So here, if I can interrupt for a sec, Sis Smith. So what we need as the bike club to do is schedule a date in April, which we're in April right now, for us to say, let's get all of our active bike riders. And Michael, if you have the time, if you can come with your cameras,
Yeah. I'm happy to do it. This video
you're
sounds
breaking
like,
up.
Your
Oh,
audio's
sorry.
breaking up, Mike.
hold on a second.
that works.
Yeah, you're good now.
Didn't say anything.
I could hear
Hang
him.
on.
Go, that's a good sound check.
I think my AirPods were getting in the way. Is that better?
Yeah.
Very good.
So the idea of a short video sounds like a quick, easy project. And
Right, it's not.
So ideally, as many of the core cycle group that we can get, because if I'm shooting, I'm probably not going to be riding. So I think we would probably be doing that route a few times.
Yes.
Where in some cases I can use the bike mounted cameras where I'll just be ahead of you guys so we can actually see you riding, and I'll use the rear camera on that. But when it comes to like getting a point of view where you guys stop at the intersection and maybe move into the bike box, turn left, I'm going to need to be like on the street, capturing that. And the tricky part will be if you're trying to show like interactions with car traffic, because then we need a car, but also if we're waiting to set up a shot, we're blocking traffic. So I don't know, we may
You don't
have
have to do that, Mike. You just
Okay.
ride the bike. It'll naturally come through in your video. You'll see that the cars will be naturally driving next to you, and it's just for public to watch what
But
you're doing.
That's not, I'm sorry to interrupt. That's not necessarily true because his bike is set up where he's taking pictures of us riding, right? But it's not like you're going to, it's a wide shot where you stop and you watch the bike stop and then you watch what the bike does.
I thought he said he would do both. He said he would do bike mounted and then he would also stand at the
Yeah, so
Yes, what he's saying is it's time intensive to do it. Not to say we can't do it, but you just can't ride your bike and have this done. So it's really quite a mini project, a pretty good time commitment.
The only good thing
That-
is that, Mike, you know this well, if we can just intercut people
Yeah.
with reaction saying, I love Broad Street now, or, do you know what I mean? If we could just intercut little clip, then you don't have to worry about coming up with the continuity giant
Well,
piece.
Well, wait a
The way I
minute.
s-
I'm confused. You want an instructional, right, for the first one?
We kind of want both. I
In the
But I
same
don't
one?
see them, I don't see them
What's-
being part of one video, at
Yeah,
least not
me
yet.
either.
Later, it could be cut into a bigger thing.
Okay.
But I think you want an informational video
Yes.
about how to navigate this as a cyclist and for motorists to understand what cyclists are doing. Um, I think, and then getting people to say what they think about it, that's a whole other thing. And that can just, those can be one-offs, and we can just give those clips to the town and they can put them on social media as they see
And
fit.
Mike, if it saves your time, since there will be so many bicyclists anyway attending that informational video that you'll take, you could just create a bunch of like 5 to 10 clips asking different kinds of questions on bicycling, and just save them and give it to me, and then we will roll them out as we can.
But are we
with our
asking
clients.
each other?
No, you are asking if you have 10 bicyclists riding. I would say you can pick each one for a question and ask them, hey, what's your favorite route in the town? Or which routes have you traveled in the past? Or do you like the
Right.
new bike infrastructure? What
But
do you
that's that's an
could be
addendum
improved?
onto what you want originally, correct?
Let me
No.
lay
The
out
first
something
video will
here.
be informational and instructional.
Okay.
So the first video is just somebody riding the bike next to the cars, somebody standing at an intersection and taking a wide shot and just showing from intersection to intersection how this bicyclist is navigating this route. That's all. If there are cars near you, people have to observe and learn and watch. The clips are besides that. If you want several bicyclists to ride together in the first video, that's fine. But if you have only one, that's fine too.
Yeah, I think it would be good to have a minimum of 2 people on bikes. And
Okay.
at some point, I mean, well, if I'm recording, I'm probably going to be in front, so I won't be on camera. Like if the cameras are on my bike, I won't be in the shot. But so we can do a pass that is, me riding with everyone else in front of everybody else and getting footage of them riding on the road. Then we turn around, we do the route again. It's not a long route, and or the team goes around it, maybe even just a few blocks away, and comes back to like a bike box intersection at a red light, and I'm standing on the sidewalk shooting them separately, so I get that because they're going to be sitting there when the light turns. If I'm just saying practically, like if I'm recording off my bike, I'm going to be stopped at the same intersection as them, and I can't go out of that box to get the shot that I need. So I'm going to stand on the sidewalk, and we can cut those things together. But I think we don't need just. I'm just going to say in terms of what people will actually sit and watch. We don't need the entire route. I think we need to call out, make sure that we hit parts of the route that indicate specific types of markings, because there's no point in doing a bike box at one intersection and then doing it again
Right.
at another and talking about it. It's just, okay, this is what it's like when there's a turning lane. This is what these markings mean. This is what the dash lines mean. And then, this is how it works at a bike box if the cyclists need to go over the left side and turn left, or, this is where they wait, so that there's visibility, that sort of thing.
Michael, I have a
Well,
question. If we can
absolutely.
schedule in the next 3 weeks, a bike ride for our regular members,
Uh-huh.
where we can get the top 10 riders who are there all the time, who really understand what we're trying to do. Is that possible for you?
Let me look at my calendar.
And just, and not to be, I don't know how to put this. I think it'll be helpful to have some women, some younger age people, just to show that it's for all. It's not just for,
For
one
us
type
old.
of demographic.
Can you send one of your kids?
I will try.
Um,
They're too
I-
busy for me, Karen. They don't even talk to me anymore.
I could potentially get depending on her, between school and extracurriculars, my daughter's 16. She might be either a writer or she's a budding video enthusiast. She might shoot a little bit for us.
Yeah.
The other thing is there was a couple that was on a couple of the last rides. They were at McKinney with us last season, and then another ride after that.
Yeah.
I know we have email addresses. Might not be bad to reach out and just see, just so that we've got, a range of people.
And there is the young couple that bought new bikes last year with the little baby pull, whatever
Yeah.
it's called, the cart pull. They would be perfect.
So
I think I
one,
can't promise for him, but I think my son will do it. He's in his mid-20s.
Yep.
And so he's actually gonna bike to work. Quick aside, he's gonna work on the Army engine plant. And so my son Zach is going to be part of the environmental remediation team down at the
Ah.
Army engine plant.
Great.
Good for
And,
you.
he's lined up to be biking to work and all of this stuff.
That's great.
So if once we get the schedule, I can see if he can join as well, and it'll put someone in their 20s in the shot.
And so
Yeah,
we
and one
do
more
have,
thing,
we do have 30 people that are in their 30s. I mean, they're not all my age.
Hey, can we
Hold on.
set it?
person of color too, if you have, that'd be helpful. And then the other thing I wanted to say is about those storm, the bicycle grates, the storm drains that we have. People are, they're bicycle friendly. And that's something you have to say in your video, that you can ride over this. It's bicycle friendly. You don't have to get down and go around it.
Can we set a date, because April is very, very tight for me because I have many, many professional obligations. I'm not even gonna be here for part of it. I have to present a paper out of state, so in New Orleans.
Well, we're now at April 2nd.
I can't.
Michael, would you want to
anything.
do this during the week or on the weekend?
I can't guarantee I could do it during the week because my commitments are going to change. That they can change. The week I expect on Monday morning is not the week I have by Friday afternoon.
Okay.
So
So
it would
Saturday
be
or
tougher.
Sunday at best.
However, kids are out on school break the week of the 14th, and I am taking that time, much of that time away from work. We could see if there are folks available on a weekday who could do that. That's probably not going to be the 20-somethings or the other folks that we want to get on the video. But I think we just got to kind of figure out the right date because we got Easter in there. So I have a lot of flexibility the week of the 14th.
I'm out of state.
And you're out of state.
Then how
Okay.
about the week of the 21st?
The 21st, I might be in Toronto for work.
Okay.
So that's not a great week.
So.
Well, if you have anybody else.
Well, what
too,
about,
maybe-
can we look at weekends? Or were we just
First
trying
person we can't do this without Michael.
No,
Um,
I'm talking about like if Tom Dillon's son wants to do it, Karen can't do it next week. That's fine to take Tom Dillon's son and just do the video.
You mean riding to work?
No, the informational video.
I can't promise his schedule.
You
and it's
can't
not gonna be
promise, but
during
I'm
the
just
week.
giving as an example.
Yeah, it's not gonna
If
be during the
anybody
week.
else wants to do instead of Karen because of her work commitments, you can feel free to take them over too.
But Mike can't do it during the week.
But-
Oh, no, during the weekends, I mean. Mhm.
Yeah, like if I know there's we've got the weekend of the 12th and 13th coming up. I believe I can, I don't know that I have anything on my schedule for that, at least not, I have small things, but I could probably dedicate some time to it that
Hey,
weekend.
And
Uh,
Mike, I think if we say 2 hours on this, we should be able to get enough for you to do a short piece.
Yeah, if it's planned out and thought out and we know what we're shooting that day, then yes.
I would double that. Having a background in production, I would double that.
Yeah,
I think it's
Um,
realistic. I think 2 hours is, could we do it, but it has to be tightly planned. It's not easy just to do this
no, I know.
and do it. I know, Mike, didn't do it well. I mean, if you just want wide shots of everything, that's one thing, but if, It depends on what you want. I'm sorry, I literally can't do anything until after Easter.
When is
Okay.
Easter?
Easter is the 20th.
Hey, Mike, do you have any availability this Sunday morning anytime between 9 and noon?
This Sunday, the 6th. Possibly, yeah. I don't know if I have time to think about it and know what I'm going to shoot in time
Right.
for Sunday is the thing. If we're going to use that whatever time we have effectively, I'm going to need to like go that route myself
Right. It's too
and
close.
just like get a sense of where we need to shoot, what we need to shoot, and plan that out. And I there's no way I'm going to be able to do that by this weekend. I like
Okay.
have that shot plan ready to go.
Well, how about the weekend of the 19th? I don't know when Easter is.
Easter's on the 20th. Passover's on the 12th. Easter's on the 20th. Palm Sunday's on 13th. Depends if people are
So Mike,
Yeah. Sunday
we
the
need to get it
13th.
done. You still need time to edit it. So if we're
Yes.
trying to get this done for May, the first week of May,
it's tight. I mean,
right.
it's tight.
But
Yeah.
hey,
So
so Smith has
Sunday
no
the
video
13th
that shows
works.
this.
I'm sorry, we're cross talking. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying Smith has no video that shows this. So even if it's not the best award-winning piece that we could ever put together, something will be good for what she's doing.
Yeah. No, I'm not making art. It's just,
And
but it needs to
honestly,
be
I mean,
watchable.
you've done other pieces that are absolutely beautiful.
And
So
even though I'm not a part of this and filming and whatever, I think what Tom was asking about for Sunday the 6th to videotape his son, it doesn't need to be detailed. It doesn't need to be completely thought out. Just follow him along the path route on Sunday morning. Go back later another day and edit it. And then when you can get together with Karen, do it with Karen and do it more detailed. That's my take on it. Just wanted to.
But I mean,
my,
I'm gonna stick up for Mike here. It's very, you just like, Mike can't just go in a car and drive slowly down the road. I mean, this has to be planned. And I don't mean to be a stickler, but again, having a background in this and knowing what Mike has to do, I'm sort of sticking up for him. This is a lot of work, and not to say we can't do it, but you also don't want to put something out there that looks really crappy. And not that Mike would ever produce crappy work, but if we're going to just, slap it together, I think that would be a disservice to us and especially to Mike. To say, well, go out on a Sunday and follow Tom's son. It's not that easy.
I think we
And
just gotta,
if it is, any one of us could do that with our smartphones.
I think if we convene, and I don't want to, I don't know what's left on the agenda, but I don't want to derail that. It maybe if we can, cycle through this over, no pun intended, over email, and just try to, throw out some dates that we think might work. I mean, I'm looking at, just selfishly, when I'm available. I just don't think it's practical being Wednesday for me to know what I'm going to shoot for this Sunday.
Yeah, fair enough. So, I mean, if you're
That's-
driving the train, Mike, why don't you just say, like, these are the days I can do it? And then we got to rally around then because you're the central
Yeah.
figure.
So I can send that to the group by email. That, I could potentially do something this Sunday. Like I could, I
Scout
could
it out.
arrange to meet your son and do the talking head thing where he's like, oh, I'd like, I could get a clip if he's available, where he's just talking about how he's gonna, what was it? He's
Bike to
commuting to
work.
work, or he's biking to work, or
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, he's going to be biking down to the Army engine plant. It's just a coincidental fact, and
Yeah.
I don't want to overpromise him, okay? But
Yeah, no.
the suggestion was to get into the 20s. I have a short Shakespeare market this Sunday, which locks up my morning from 10 to 12. But right on the tail ends of those things, I already have that block of time worked out. But I think you should just look at your calendar and see what works for you and what makes it you comfortable, and then we got to rally around that.
Okay.
And Mike, do we want to send out? We can't do it until Jim gets back from his mother-in-law passing away. I don't know. I don't know when he will come reemerge, but we should do an email to some of our writers. Right, correct? You want to have a group also that's writing, even if you say, I don't need you for this video clip right now, but it would be a good thing for our regular writers because they would understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know what the approved methods of communication are. I know some of those folks are on the Facebook group, and it could just be a matter of reaching out directly through Facebook and say, hey, we've got this
That's
going
what I
on,
would suggest. Yeah.
rather than wait for Jim and, and go through, because I'm sure there's lots of people's emails on that list and try to figure out who's who. There's a couple of people who've commented on the rides we've done and the videos that have been posted that might be good candidates that we could do some outreach for. And just see if we can get something. I think it's like, I would aim to be as efficient as possible, covering like the ride itself at the key intersections with the bike camera. But then I'm going to need like a different point of view of, from the sidewalk, a group of cyclists coming to an intersection and stopping, because
Right.
it's not going to make sense from the bike's perspective, for people watching it. So we would need to probably ride the route. I'm going to say like the full route, maybe twice, and then pieces of it to get cutaway shots.
What I would say is
another two
we
times.
we do a straight run on the first ride. We do
But
uh,
it's,
a bike, you on the bike for the second ride. We do close-ups or cutaways
Yeah.
for the third ride. And every
Yeah.
time we do that, we're going to lose riders. They're going to say, I'm done. I want to go home.
that's
But if-
why I say we need about 4 hours.
Well,
Yeah, we could negotiate to 3.
All right. But riding it twice, getting everybody organized, it's not, as you know, it's not easy. And actually, the more people that are involved, the harder it is. But again, we can do it. It's just, we have to coordinate times.
well,
And the other thing is, sorry, go ahead, Harold.
I'm just concerned that we have people there. It's going to be.
No, but I think if it gets to be more than 3 people riding, it's busy. Like, it's generally not like to get across the point of multiple people riding, 3's the charm. Like, I think if you have more than 3, it's overkill. Because then it's like, are 6 bikes crowding into the bike box at the intersection? That's not the day-to-day of people cycling, around traffic on that route. It's going to be a couple of cyclists or a lone cyclist. So if we had 3, that's like a group, because then we can cover, you're riding, one behind the other in that lane. You're not side by side, that sort of thing.
But Michael, what the criticism that Smitha has been receiving is that there's not enough usage of the bike lane. So if we show a lot of people on the bike lane, then we're showing what we're hoping will happen within the next 3 years in terms of usage.
I think that can come in the opening of the second thing we're going to do with the clip. So you start with big group rides, and then you bring it down to a little interview, little testimonials. But I think that big, and Mike has those already. I mean,
I can take footage from previous rides.
Right.
Absolutely.
Of us crossing Stratford Avenue
Right.
and cut that
and that's how
together as
you
an
can start
intro,
that
and then
second.
go to the
yeah.
go to the talking head shots for
Yeah.
the
That's
second.
what
the
I think
second
that's how
video.
you can get the big group shots in.
Yeah.
And here's my thing always is there is no end to a bike route. If you're on a bike, you got to go somewhere. So this bike route connects to at least 4 or 5 of our rides. So all of them, we experience a bit of Main Street in what we're doing.
I also have
Sorry.
one more thing to add. Now, this was the bike rides part, and like Mike suggested, you can coordinate dates and times by email. And I see enough volunteers here, like Tom's willing to do it, Karen's willing to do it. Anybody else wants to jump in, that's great.
Willing to do what?
If you had the time to be that person on the bike to be filmed.
Oh, yes, but it doesn't sound like, as much as I want to help, it doesn't sound like I'm gonna be available unless you
Okay.
do it,
So
unless we
then
do it.
Karen is out, but Tom might.
Not
if
necessarily,
not-
it depends when we do it.
Yeah, that's what, you know,
Yeah,
that was
I
the
honestly,
summary. And then
Michael, I
the
don't
second
know.
part is also about who is going to give out reflective gear on May 1st.
I can't, I'm working.
Yes, and so some volunteers there, I mean, you don't have to be only you here, but if Harold has his group of riders, he can ask somebody if they would like to volunteer too.
Well, Michael, if you're sending out an email to the Facebook people, you could put that down. This day we're shooting video to explain how to use the Greenway. And we're on May 1st, we're also handing out.
Not on
Here.
Facebook, please, because, you know, we want somebody trusted.
Well, no, that's
Like
how we
in
do
your-
it. We have, so Smitha, that is where our email list is.
But there are
resides.
300 people on there, Harold, and if you don't know somebody and they volunteer, you're giving them reflective gear to hand out. I don't know if the town will be comfortable with that. Somebody like, you know, if you have Jim or
But
somebody.
we don't have time to.
Where
Mhm.
is this on the 1st?
It'll be probably in one of the coffee shops, Sarah, near the train station. Also, the weather has to be cooperative. And if the weather cooperates, only we can do it. If it's rainy, we can't do it, but otherwise you can sit outside the bench and, you know.
I can help on the 1st if you need me.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sarah.
Do we need, as far as the videos are concerned, I know we sign releases when we cycle. In that release, does it say anything about being videotaped, and do we need releases?
Yes, it has a release for video, which actually Michael wrote last year into it.
Oh, very good, okay,
That went through the town lawyers when I did the bicycle.
okay, great, thanks.
Because this is being used by the town for other purposes, we may need one that's appropriate for that.
A new release?
Just specifically for this project or these projects, because it's not the cycling, it's not technically a cycling club activity.
Correct.
It's something we're
Yep,
doing for the
yep.
town.
Yep,
And I'm not a lawyer, and I don't play one on TV.
Me
So
neither.
I I
So-
threw some language in that I had seen somewhere else into our waiver.
But
It may be
Michael, you might not
sufficient.
know it, when I was doing the rodeo, that went through the town lawyers. And they okayed it as an update to the standard recreation waiver. So
Oh, okay.
we now have that as the standard for our Houstonic Bike Cycling Club, which is an organization through the town recreation department.
Okay. So yeah, in terms of recruiting, I wasn't thinking that we would use the Facebook page for a broad message. Hey, anyone on the group who wants to help, be here this day. I was thinking of cherry picking some of the folks that we've had on some of the other rides
That are
that
regular
are,
riders.
demographically and just, from demeanor. I mean, we don't have any like crazy outliers on the bike rides themselves. I'm sure on the Facebook page we do, but the people that we know and can say, okay, could you do this? Could you do this? And propose some dates and then see what we got, see what sticks.
yeah. I think that's good.
Yeah, I think that's good also, if you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
I just received a chat message from Sarah Graham. She says, I have a friend that rides to work daily from East Main to Sikorsky would want to help and be in the video. Let me know if you want me to ask him. I think that's a good idea.
How old is he?
My guess is 40s or late 40s.
All right,
And does he ride with the bicycle club?
I don't know, and it's an electric bicycle, but it's it's still
Doesn't
a pedal.
Bike's
yeah,
a bike.
doesn't matter.
Um,
And
No,
any,
yeah,
is there any
He was hoping-
diversity to him? Is he
He was hoping
non-white?
He was hoping Complete Streets was going to go all the way up to Shelton on Main Street.
Oh,
He's
that's
as far
ambitious.
as demographics, he's white male, late 40s.
That's
So I know-
okay too. It's not bad. I'm
We'll
just
take them.
saying if you have more representation, more people will relate and associate themselves with that. It doesn't, and I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't be a certain race or certain demographic. You can have everyone that is interested, but if there's more representation, like women, children, people of color, they kind of look at it and they kind of associate themselves doing this kind of activity. That's all.
someone that if we needed more members, he's like, oh, I'm interested, I'll join this committee. So, and that's when we wanted to actually reduce the members, so we had a
Yeah.
quorum.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's why I know.
I mean, it'd be great to have, to connect with him and just have that as a person for that day to include on when we're looking at dates, to make sure that we take his availability into account as well. So yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. I'll ask.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. So Sarah's going to volunteer for May 1st. And Sarah, if you have a friend, you can please bring along so you're not alone. And I will swing by too. And so I encourage everybody else, like whoever is available to swing by and just, say hello. And we have the video lined up. You're planning on that. Mike is going to, think about this. And then the third thing is the short clips. Anybody can do the short clips. You can just do it on your iPhone and send it.
Yeah,
over.
that doesn't have to be a
Mhm.
big thing, but it might be good if we have those folks on the day that we're shooting, that we just go, somewhere else with a nice background to just, or even just like turn the camera the other way, not towards the street, with something something definitively, Main Street
Stratford,
as a
yeah.
backdrop, and have people just say their bit. That's the easy part. The asking questions and getting people to talk is the absolute easy part. That won't take.
Honestly, Mike, I would, if you're gonna do, if you're looking for interesting spots in the background, I would do something that's blooming, like a cherry tree or something, if we have it. And I would do Lordship, get that ocean in the background, because we're hoping that other people probably look at this from out of town, correct? And we, the ocean, we have the longest ocean line in Fairfield County in Stratford. So, if they,
I would honestly think that Mike has those clips already in his inventory.
no, this is the talking heads, like,
No,
oh,
but I'm saying he can go back and I'm just trying to think of not reinventing everything.
oh, you mean the big
Yeah,
shot?
because we've got,
He's
if
already
the thing
shot a
is,
lot
if
of it.
everybody's on bikes and then we're going to another location, everybody has to
Right.
ride there, and that's
Right.
going to take long. So I think we find someplace, and it can be someplace very picturesque. Maybe we go off on the Elm Street side by Academy Hill or something, just that's near there,
Right.
but close enough that people can just shoot over there in a couple of minutes on their bike,
Yeah.
set up a few
Yeah.
quick clips, and be done with it.
Okay, I'm
All right.
gonna, Mike, you need to come up with a date. And you're gonna look through the list and see who we can add. I guess send that information to all of us. And whatever date you decide is the date it's gonna be.
Okay, should I
Is that-
respond to the same distribution list that the Aileen's original email goes out to
Yes.
for the meetings?
Yes, yep, and
Okay.
say this, I don't know if we need to vote on it, but it doesn't sound like it. This is getting something that Smitha needs. So let's try to move that forward. I want to, before we run out of time, because we only have about 8 minutes left, I went through the calendar, which we are going to need to produce quickly, and we need to actually would help if we can get that together, because the Smitha actually might be able to use it as part of her handouts. But I wanted to add, and I think, Michael, what I should just do is send you my spreadsheet. I added Smitha's dates into the calendar. Even though they're not really rides, they are events. We just need to specify that they are events, not necessarily rides, but there's something you could ride too. But I also went to
Is that the same spreadsheet I shared?
a long time ago, yeah, at our last meeting.
Yes. So, okay, so you've got additional stuff in there?
Yeah, because what I did was the kids rodeo that we do, that is the South End Community Center is not in their building because it's being renovated right now, and they're at the Bird's Eye facility. And I just today had a conversation with the director of that program, and she doesn't know what her schedule is going to be. But I came up with dates based on last year, Wednesday, July 16th being the SEC, which is her South End young kids. But we also were we discussed at the last meeting, doing a town-wide kids riding event from Academy Hill to
Yep.
the ice cream shop and back.
And
That's
I sent-
reflected in the spreadsheet now.
And
Yes,
I had a suggestion how to get the younger kids to do it versus the older kids.
okay, but let me get through this first, because what I'm looking at is the dates. I had to shift around some of the dates because we had events happening on top of each other, and that really doesn't kind of work. So what I'm sending you is my shift. It's not definitive, but it's enough for us to get a schedule made.
Yeah. If you want to just make it in the spreadsheet. So I was in the spreadsheet this morning revising it. So I don't know when you printed that, but that might be out of date as of today.
And that's okay. If you look at my dates, you'll see where I added something, I think.
Okay.
I don't know the date on this one that I had.
So if you send me that, then I will compare the two
Okay,
and I'll connect with you directly with questions.
okay. And there's still a little bit of iffiness about those events. And the only other thing that I wanted to make sure we got in is all of the riders last year agreed that they wanted to do a ride on, help me, I'm now totally
In
blank.
Hamden,
Yes,
the rail,
on the Canal Rail Trail.
I tentatively put that in for Sunday, August 10th.
Oh, so you actually okay,
Because
good.
I took those notes down last time on the call.
Okay,
So
great.
I've incorporated the only one that I couldn't fit in the schedule without things being too close to each other was a ride. You had one from Milford to Long Wharf in New Haven.
That was a new ride that we were talking about adding
Yeah.
in.
So that's one. If you look at the spreadsheet again and just take a look at it, I also set it up on a Google Calendar. I'll send you the link to so you can kind of see it on the calendar and be like, and that's how I was doing it because it was too much.
Yeah,
I needed to make sure the spreadsheet wasn't showing me how far the dates were away from each other.
yes.
And where holidays fell in and Father's Day.
But what we discovered, and it's kind of obvious that our midweek rides aren't well attended.
No, and I really can't do the midweek rides for work purposes.
I know it ends up being a bunch of retired people that have the time to do it.
You
So I
lucky
think
dogs.
where we can, I don't know if you did it, but we need to shift as many of those to the weekends. When I first started this, we did rides on Saturdays and Sundays, and our whole focus was to try to offer an opportunity to people who were available on a Saturday or who are available on a Sunday, assuming that those people were working for the rest of the week. And we kind of got away from that because our midweek rides were really supposed to be very short rides, more neighborhood based, and it's really hard to do a ride to Milford and back
Yeah.
on a Wednesday night. The pressure is really great, I think, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was trying to put this in the chat, but it's not letting me send it.
and well, that's why I didn't even try. I'm sorry.
Just when you email us the dates, Mike, just put it in as an attachment.
Okay.
I think that's the easiest for you.
Is it?
Well, a link to the
Mike,
Google,
is it-
the Google Sheet's not an actual physical document.
Yeah,
so
you
a
want
link to the Google Sheet.
We can look at it on our own calendars, but yeah,
And
Okay,
try and do it as easy as possible for you.
link.
I'm all for that.
and I'm gonna send you, I'll rename it, but I'm gonna send you the spreadsheet that I have that I worked off of for this. I
Okay.
assume it came out off the Google Drive, but I couldn't access rewriting on that document.
Oh, it might have been view only. Okay.
Yeah, so I downloaded it and opened it in my spreadsheet, so now I've created a mess, but I'll send
No,
you
that's
what
fine.
I have.
I'll figure it out.
Okay. I
Mike-
also want
Mike,
everybody
thanks
to
for all your
know,
work on this.
My pleasure.
see, I told you Mike was going to be valuable for us.
I know, he's very valuable.
Mike, thank you very
I
much.
thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a great partnership between the town and the committee members, and I appreciate each of you for your input and the time you're going to volunteer for this. And I'm really hoping by next year around this time, we'll have double the size of members.
Great.
Of our writers, not our committee, right?
The committee members are the writers, right?
Girl, it's 1 o'clock.
I know. Let me just do one last thing, which now I've totally forgotten what it was. So I'm gonna, when Mike gets this calendar done, he is gonna prepare it. Are you doing the individual sheets for all the days at the same time?
I will. So I have a way to do that with the spreadsheet through this data merge process where basically I just take the spreadsheet and it spits out every iteration of the rides automatically. So I don't have to do it manually. So I'm waiting
But we're
till
not doing,
schedule's
we're not
final.
doing we're not doing maps for every ride, correct?
We'll do as many as we can. If we
Okay.
don't have maps for everything, we don't.
Okay.
We can't let perfect be the enemy of good.
Well, I
Okay.
have a quick suggestion about that. If somebody in the town, I think I heard this said in this meeting, is going to develop the map, right? What we can do is we can take that map and for each individual, we just put a square around where we're riding. So we don't have to double our work.
No, the
Karen,
maps
I
are just
know that
links.
will happen because the information that the people that are doing this map is not based on our information. It won't match up with most of our rides.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. My mistake. Okay,
It should, but it hasn't yet.
I understand.
And that's the project that Smitha was trying to get a grant for us to actually come up with a new map of all. So eventually what we're doing, we'll go to Smitha when she starts working on that, assuming she's not totally crazed with everything else. But that's a project still that
Okay.
we're going to keep
In
working
the
on.
future.
Okay, I'm not going to try to get to the rest. I do know that there is something on May 17th. Mark your calendars. We Stratford Rotary is my president's project, are doing a wayfinding bench at the corner of Broad Street and Main Street, in the new Pitsy, where the Pitsy Funeral Parlor is, right on that corner. We're putting in 2 benches, a bike rack, and a peace pole, and we're looking for community participation for that event. So that will actually is being added into Complete Streets. And the mayor's approved this, so we are moving forward on that.
Harold, I need to go.
I know.
Well, it's not doing anything about it.
And Karen, I need to speak with you about the event for the ice cream ride for kids.
Yeah, you and we can chat about that offline.
Yes,
Very good.
because I need to get the town involved in promoting that.
Yeah, I think I think I worked it out in my head. If we can do.
Okay,
Okay,
all right.
all right.
Someone give me a motion we're over, so
Motion to adjourn?
Yes. John, I'm glad you were here today. Smitha, keep moving forward. We love you.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Aileen, don't bite my head off. All right.